We'll go into some covers that are just misleading or wrong. Destroyer. So this movie, I've seen it. I've actually watched this movie.
Yeah.
That guy, you would think, is the main character. I mean, he has to be. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That guy shows up in the movie for like 10 minutes or something. Like, I forget how much he really appears, but he's not in the movie very much.
Wait, but is he the Destroyer?
I guess, but he's like, I mean, look at that. He's got like a jackhammer gun. And
Wait.
With a scope.
Yeah, it's got a scope on it. Like, if you're using a jackhammer, how much? Like, I don't think you need a scope to aim.
You need a snipe You need a snipe jackhammer. Wait, so is that really like how jacked he is? Because it looks like they just stuck his head on somebody. On an action figure.
Well, I mean, he is in the movie, but he's only in it for a little bit. 3,000 volts couldn't kill him. It just gave him a buzz.
Maybe that's not the title of the movie. They're just stating the fact that Lyle Alzado is the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little more to it than that. This movie, The Destroyer, stars a former football player, and a bunch of people that you've either never seen, that have either never been in another movie, or are just background actors, or maybe they've done background stuff in various films. Okay, so this movie, The Destroyer, because there's a movie called The Destroyer, it's just Destroyer. How can I sum this up? It's basically the Disaster Artist meets Steven Seagal's Half Past Dead. Yes, this is a real movie. Kind of. Okay, so pretty much what happens is that there's this guy who he's on the cover of he's on an alternate cover of the DVD or VHS. And apparently this movie, I think, is on Blu-ray. It's like a double feature with some other movie I haven't seen, so. By the way, the guy in this movie, look, I'm not one to fat shame or anything, but the guy that they have in this movie, he looks nothing like the guy on the poster. The guy on the poster, it's kind of like with that movie Attack Force, that Seagal movie, where they kind of like, he kind of looked like this, or he kind of looks like this in real life, so as a result they just kind of like squished his head together, or they like they thinned and like straightened his head, so as a result he looks thinner than he actually is. And then they put him on another person's body. It almost looks, and I'm sure this is a default answer, but I'm not making it up. It literally looks like they just put his head on like Schwarzenegger from like Conan, or even, yeah, probably from like Conan the Barbarian or something, or even Conan the Destroyer, like just a shirtless picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they put this, they stretched this guy's head so it would be a little bit smaller, and then they put him on, boom, that's the cover. And this shouldn't come as any surprise to you, but that machine that he has on the cover, that like huge jackhammer with like a scope, he has that in one scene in the movie. That's not like his trademark weapon, like I don't know, like with it's not like with like Lady Terminator where she had a gun, so she always has a gun, or it's not like Rambo or Terminator or those, it's not like those kinds of action movies. And what I mean by this is kind of like Half Past Dead. That's exactly how it starts. Well, kind of, in a way. Metaphorically, he's going to get executed. And please, no comments about the electric chair or anything, because it plays so little into this movie. It's just like the main part, okay? That's like criticizing Tom and Jerry for promoting violence because Tom stepped on a mousetrap or something, or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, they put this movie, or he's about to be executed, and meanwhile he's watching this, like, it's kind of like a knockoff Wheel of Fortune, where you have to guess the word, except, or maybe it is Wheel of Fortune back in the day, because they didn't have the dial thing, or the where Vanna just pressed. Instead, this has a they just flip the card over, or they just flip the card back, one of those two. It's been a while since I've seen it. Oh, and the guy in the movie, his hair is much thinner than he is on the DVD poster, so that was kind of entertaining as well. So he is electrocuted, the electric chair and everything, except when it's about 90% done, the power turns off. And as a result, he's still kind of strong, and he can still beat people up and stuff, and he's pretty much the destroyer in this movie. And it is all set inside a prison, but it's kind of like a abandoned prison, I think, because this is how the disaster artist comes in, because they're using it for this, I don't know, let me think of a fictional thing. It was a Prison Babes. It's some B-movie softcore film, because there is a scene of a bunch of girls showering. So it's kind of like The Disaster Artist in that it's the making of a movie, except this one is a fictional movie. There's references to the Three Stooges, because of course there is, right? Let's see, what else? Then there's this... Oh, and this is something, if you check out my Twitter, first of all, I'm sorry, but, you might have seen that I tweeted comedian Tammy Pescatelli that your movie, Beauty Queen Butcher, is not the only movie I've seen this year that features death by beauty pageant sash. I didn't know that was a trend. But it happens in this movie. The kind of the beauty queen girl, she gets held by a sash. In the meanwhile, there's a janitor. There's a lot of explosions. People get set on fire. The female lead, she kind of looks like, what's her name? Darcy? The female neighbor from, Married with Children. I think she's a director now. She's directed for, some stuff, but she looks a lot like that. Do I recommend this movie? Not really. I mean, I think this is the first... I think this is maybe the second movie that I've seen that takes place completely in a prison. So it's not like, oh, if I want blah blah, if I want a prison movie, I'll stick with ... The movie I was thinking it was going to be kind of fun and campy. It's not fun and it's not. Maybe you might have some fun with it, but it's not campy enough. There's a very gross scene that involves an ear. I'm not gonna say what it is, but if you're wondering why Kay isn't here, that's because after we saw this movie, she was like, I want no part in this review. I don't want to ever talk about this movie. I don't want to ever see this movie again. We've all had those movies that we never want to see again. Hey, Kenzie. So anyway, okay. Go back. So, if you're a fan of in-prison movies, maybe you'll get a kick out of this. But, I was thinking that we see this movie, and then we see, and then she was, like, very, like, I don't know if the term is shell-shocked, but she was, like, very, like, she was very uneasy after watching this movie, so take that for what you will. So, to make it up to her, we saw another movie that night. And that movie will be available next week. It contains much less. It contains much less prison in that movie. Oh well. See you next weekend. Cinnemassacre. I tried contacting you several times if I could use your footage, so I'm hoping it's acceptable. Oh, one other thing. Please do not attack Cinnemassacre or, AVGN or James. Do not attack do not attack them. I'm just using the footage because, well, it was their video that I figured out, that I found out about this movie, so kind of the credit goes to them, so, don't worry, we'll see more movies from them, and we've seen several movies already. Like, we've seen Microwave Massacre, I saw it, and then Kay and I saw it. If you want campy, goofy, I kind of wanted more of that. In this, like, some more jokes and some more, like, over-the-top. This is just more of, like, a straight-up action film, kind of like a Terminator, Rambo movie. I haven't even seen most of the Rambo movies or Terminators. I've seen most of the Terminators. Yeah, it's like that. Anyway, see you next week. Get your Thanksgiving shopping early because it's the week before Thanksgiving, so